Hi everyone, Tucker here from Wasatch Mountains Fishing with a quick video to help you get started on your next ice fishing adventure. So today I'm going to show you how I like to rig up my hooks and my lures for ice fishing. So what you're going to need to start is you're going to need some fishing line. I just like to use 8-pound test. Holds up pretty well against most fish except for the really monster ones. Then your arm might need to get wet. Some split shot weights. These aren't necessary, but I like to use them because it helps my line get down to the bottom faster. A hook. It's a tiny tungsten jig head. The lure. These ones are what I like to call some red and white grubs, but I don't know their actual name. And then some barrel swivels to use to tie onto your line. So we'll start with the fishing line. I cut off a predetermined amount, and you can make your leader as long as you like. I like to have mine be somewhere between 12 to 18 inches, just so that way there's a good distance between your weight and your hook. Because you don't want the fish seeing something that just doesn't look natural in the water and getting scared off by it. So we're going to start with tying our swivel onto our line, and most people know how to tie a fishing knot. If you don't, unfortunately I don't have great line to show you how to tie a fishing knot right here, so I'm just going to tie one real fast for you. And if you need to look up how to tie a fishing knot, you're more than welcome to pause this video to go find another video to help you with that. Just gotta get the finishing touches here. All right, there we go. So as you can see, there's my barrel swivel. It's kind of hard to see right there. There's my barrel swivel attached to my line. I'm gonna just take some toenail clippers and clip that tag end off. Toss that aside. All right, so I have my length of line, barrel swivel on one end, nothing on the other. So now we're going to tie my hook on to the other end of the line. So thread the end of the line through, and then I like to loop the line back around and through the eyelet of the hook again, just to add a little extra strength to the knot. I know that you don't have to do this, but I find that it helps to keep fish on, or at least keep them from breaking your line at the knot, because your knot is one of the weaker parts of your line. And then you just twist the line around a bunch, thread the tip back through the loops, open up another loop from those twists, thread your line through that loop right there, and pull it tight down to your hook, tighten up both ends, and there we go. We got our small jig head on one end. I'll just clip that tag end off real quick. There we go. All right, so we got that jig head there on one end, and then we got swivel on the other. So now, my fishing lines, I like to use a little bit heavier duty line just in case I hook into a real monster fish so it doesn't break off at the hole, because I've had them do that before. So because of that, I find that these tungsten jigs aren't really heavy duty enough to get my line down to the bottom. So what I like to do is I like to take one of these split shot weights. You can find them at your local Cabela's or Sportsman's Warehouse or Shields. Heck, I think I got these at my local grocery store. And then what I like to do is, again, you don't want it right on top of your hook, because if you put it on the hook, that's going to look unnatural to any fish in the water. They're going to be less inclined to bite. So what I like to do is I like to take my line just below my swivel, thread it through that split shot weight, and I'll hold it like this. So if you can't see, I got the weight in between my fingers here, and the line threaded through that split shot. I'll hold it like that, so I can take some pliers and just clamp it down on that line, just like that. So that's not gonna go anywhere. So now I have a little extra weight, so that way my line can get down and I can actually feel it a lot easier when my line's dangling there in the water. I feel like I have a lot more sensitivity with the tip of my fishing pole. All right, so now for the final step. So you're gonna take your lure, and you can use any different kind of lure you want. I just happen to get these new ones, these red and white grubs. I already have some other grubs rigged up, but as you can see, this one's just red body with a white tail. So what you want to do is you want it to sit flat on the hook. So what I like to do is I like to kind of just hold it up against the hook so I can kind of see what it's gonna look like. So if you can see that there, hold it up so I can kind of see where the hook is going to come out of the lure, and then I just thread that lure onto the hook and pop it out right where it looked like it was going to come out. That's a little off, but it's pretty close. And then there you go. You got your lure sitting on your hook just like that. So that's how I like to rig up my hooks for my fishing lures. You got your jig head, hook, lure, weight, and swivel. And that's how you rig up your line for ice fishing. Tight lines, everyone.